When was the last time you pulled out a map while driving your car, right? Many of you guys are using Uber or Lyft, right? It ain't too many people using taxis. They're still around, but not many people are using them. However, why hasn't the curriculum changed? Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy J Cobb, and you're listening to the Cobbcast, a place for like-minded entrepreneurs to connect, share, and grow. And I'm your host, Jermaine Cobbins, where I'll be sharing valuable content to help you to become a better entrepreneur and an all-around better person. We'll be discussing mindset techniques, business strategies, and ways to help take your life and business to the next level. So whether you're driving right now, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, go ahead and turn your speakers up, sit back, and let's ride. Yo, what's going on, guys? Jermaine Cobbins here, and guys, welcome to another episode of the Cobbcast. Today makes episode 11, guys, and this is going to be a really great topic, guys. I've been had a lot of people reaching out to me. They knew that this episode was actually coming up, and I want to talk about why traditional education don't teach money. And this right here, yes, it's going to strike up some controversy. Okay. Everybody that listens to this is not going to agree. However, perfect, right? That's the whole point. Like, understand this, guys, in your journey of life, entrepreneurship, even, promoting your product or services, everybody is not going to agree, right? Everybody doesn't like the president right now, right? Everybody doesn't like the color red. So it's perfectly fine. However, I got to make sure that I drop this, guys. I just want to give my honest opinion, okay? We're talking about traditional education, okay? And guys, this past weekend I had invited my family over to the house, and we was actually talking about finances, right? And this is something that I try to do with my family around every 6 months. Try to, send out a text blast and get everybody to the house, and we just go over finance. We talk about debt, we talk about leverage, we talk about assets and investing, things like that. However, I understand that most people, they struggle with debt, right? And a lot of time it coincides with not understanding their cash flow. However, this is something that I do absolutely free for my family, and it makes me feel good, guys, because I remember coming up, I didn't have anybody that was talking money, and the only time we mentioned money was when it wasn't enough of it. Right, so this is just my way of giving back. This is my way of educating not only my son but my siblings, my family on how important money is and how to shift your mindset to where you're able to attract more money for those that are into the law of attraction. Right, understanding that money is all energy. Right, it's a frequency, and if you're not in the right frequency with your money, even though money comes to you, money's going to leave just as fast as it comes to you. Right. But we're not going to go into depth on that. I want to talk about the traditional education system, okay? And guys, this hit me one night. My son was reading. He was reading before bed, and he was reading something about plants. I have a 10-year-old son, guys, and he was reading something about plants. And I'm listening to him read. I think I had my tablet, in my hand. And but I'm listening to him read, and I'm listening to him say things like chlorophyll, and I think mitochondria was up in there somewhere, right? And all these biological type terms, And after he finished, his mother asked him, like, did you remember what you read? And he was like, yeah, we read some of it at school today, this and that. And she was like, well, did you remember it? And I had to, say, I was like, what, honestly, I don't think he remembered that. You know what I mean? And I asked her, and I was like, there's nothing really intriguing about chlorophyll, right? There's nothing intriguing about mitochondria and all these things, or all these terms. And I said, and it made me think, like, would you remember that? That's what I was asking. Like, would you really remember that? Like, do you remember us going through this stuff in school? And, she was like, yeah. And I was like, but we don't use this, right? And it was just one of those things. We didn't get into a dispute about it, but it was just more like wow, like, we asking our kids to remember this stuff, yes, to take tests and things like that. However, this stuff is not preparing our kids for the future. And back to when I said that I invited my family over, this past weekend, I threw in this presentation that, you know what, guys, I said talking money is boring. I said me standing up here sharing this information with you guys, it's embarrassing, right? I said, however, but each and every one of you, we use money every day, right? We want to use our credit. We want to buy homes. We want to buy cars. We want to travel. However, taking that moment to learn money, learning how to attract money, learning how to leverage and scale, and allow yourself to manifest, attract more money into your life. It's just one of those things that, is boring, and then they don't talk about. And I kept reiterating. I said, you know what? You guys can mention this to your friends, and I said your friends are going to laugh at you, right? If you mention leverage, if you mention investments, capital, asset allocations, and all these things, they're going to laugh at you, right? But I said it's okay, because we understand that we live in an economical world, right? But just listening to my son share or read this information just made me think, like, man, this stuff is stupid. And I made a very good point to my family. I said, think about it, everybody. I said, and at the time, my mom and aunt, they were the oldest in the room, right? And I said, guys, think about it. When mom then was in school, they taught this certain type of curriculum. I said, yet here you guys are, and I was talking like as young as my son, to the teenagers in the room. I was like, you guys are learning the same thing. Y'all learning the same thing that I learned. I'm learning the same thing that my mom learned, right? And it's like nothing has changed. So think about that. How many of you are actually using newspapers, right? Like, when was the last time you went to a newspaper to find your news? When was the last time you pulled out a map while driving your car, right? Many of you guys are using Uber or Lyft, right? It ain't too many people using taxis. They're still around, but not many people are using them. However, why hasn't the curriculum changed? And, this is one of those things, guys, like, you got to understand that, yes, it's governmental control, okay? There's a reason why money is not mentioned in school, right? They may throw a little bit of business in there, but keep in mind, everybody don't want to run a business. Everybody don't. They're not business thinkers. However, everybody uses money. But why isn't money taught in school? Why isn't it taught how to save, right? How to invest, how to leverage your credit, how to build your credit, right? Why aren't these things taught? Why is it that when a child turns 18, the first thing they're hammered with is a credit card? Or if not credit card, student loans. If not one or the other, both. And early in your 20s, you basically spend the rest of your 20s trying to get out of debt. And I know this, guys, because I went through it. I'm witnessing, some of my siblings going through the same thing. And some people never get out of this. There are people that are in their 60s that's dealing with debt that hit them in their 20s, right? We're talking 40 plus years, right? And the idea, guys, many people will die with student loan debt, which we all know is one of the biggest scams of all times, right? So moving on. What comes to mind when you hear the word learn? Like, think about learning for a minute, right? When you hear learn, you be like, boring, right? Mundane, sleep, right? I don't want to do it. But learning, guys, it's not boring. It's school has traditioned us or conditioned us, per se, to make learning a boring thing. Right? When you learn new things, honestly, learning new things is exciting. But it's when it's tied to school, the information that we're being taught, that information doesn't align us with what we really want. Like, so many kids want different things as they sit in classrooms. Why are we being taught the same thing that leads us somewhat in the same direction, whether it's military or to someone's job? Entrepreneurship is not taught. And if you are someone in the class that's outgoing, you're vibrant, you're bright, you're creative, you're imaginative, why are these kids shunned upon? Why are these kids being diagnosed with, different type of disorders, right? Put on medication, right? And you just got to really think about this, guys, because being creative, being yourself, in some places, guys, is frowned upon. Right? So when we think about learning, why is learning being thought of as a negative thing, right? And it's because, or a boring thing, is because, when we learn, we think about sitting in a classroom, right? We think about, going through history books or biology books or English books that don't mean crap to us, and it just makes learning boring. So when you come out of high school, some people are fortunate enough to go to college, but even in college, it's still bored, right? And then you go on, you learn, and you go to this bored job, and next thing you know, you done lived a bored life. You done did your career. It's like, what happened, right? So think about this. School, if you think about it, school is actually fun. You get to hang out with your friends. You got PE, and I like PE guys, right? You get to laugh, you get to play. You get out the house, you get out of your parents' house, right? Like, school is actually fun. But there are kids that absolutely hate school because it's tied to the boring, day-to-day, mundane, old, outdated education system. And if it taught money, if it taught how to leverage money, how to take ownership, how to start YouTube channels, how to get your music up on Spotify, or how to make beats, how to make jewelry, how to whatever it is that you want to do. If they had subjects catered around things that our kids are interested in, like, school would be a better place. And then tying it along with whatever your passion is, whatever you are crafty at, putting it in a position where you can monetize it, right? Putting it out there, starting your YouTube channel. If you're shy, get your phone out, record your first video, put it out there, being more of yourself. And I promise you guys, you will have more. You have more kids excited to go to school. You will have less bullying, right? You will have way more. You'll be actually turning the dynamics of our economical system. It'll be a lot of things that will take place, guys, literally by shifting our kids' mindsets. All right. So here's the question, right? How do you change your future, right? How do you change your future for yourself and the future of our kid? Yo, what's going on, guys? J Cobb here. So I hope you're enjoying this episode as much as I am. If so, do me a favor by smashing the like button. Don't forget to share this video out and be sure to leave a comment. Also, if you're ever looking for ways to generate income from home on a shoestring budget, even with limited time, then I'm your guy. There should be some links below in the description, guys. Also, if you're just really loving this Cobbcast episode and you want to contribute, there will be a link below for contributions. Other than that, guys, we're heading back to your Cobbcast episode. Thanks for listening. So that question is, how do you change your future and the future for our kids? And, truth be told, guys, it starts with, like I just shared in the beginning of this episode, I invite my family to my house about every 6 months or so, all right? I would do it every quarter if it was needed. But about every 6 months is when I invite my family over to the house and we sit down. I get my whiteboard out. We sit around. We discuss, financial actual issues, right? Things, and like I said, in most cases, it's people that are dealing with debt. They want to know how to get out of debt, how to leverage credit. We talk about leveraging banks, a whole bunch of cool things, right? I share book recommendations. It starts by doing things like that. And I know you may be thinking, well, how can I share financial advice and I'm not in a good financial situation? Okay, first of all, take ownership, right? You are exactly where you need to be. If your credit is bad, if your finances are shot, if things are not where they need to be, right? If you don't have $1,000 to your name, take ownership, okay? Start a game plan, right? You have to have a game plan. Like, if you don't have $1,000 to your name, if life is just hammering you right now, bills, things like that. First of all, you gotta figure out what's important right now, okay? Are there some bills in your life that you can not pay? Or there some things that you can minimize? Do you potentially need to increase your income? Do you need to take on a part-time job? Do you need to look for a side project, right? What are some things that you can do in your life to first take ownership to say, you know what, I need to get $1,000 to my name, right? I need to change some of my habits. We talk about liabilities, guys. I remember going through a phase in my life where I was just selling everything, right? I had custom cars, I had custom motorcycles, right? And I got rid of my Bulldog. it was a lot of things I started to move out of my life a few years back. However, people were looking at me like I was crazy. They thought I had lost my mind, right? And but I had made that paradigm shift, and by making that paradigm shift, it allowed me to clear some things out of my life. It allowed me to shift my income, which allowed me to go consumer debt free, which took a lot of burdens off of my life. Like, just being honest with you guys, just this year, 2019, by the time of this recording, this was the first time I've ever crossed 700 with my credit score. I've never had anything that high, guys, and it come from things that I've done a few years ago. Like, when everyone thought I was crazy, when everyone else thought I was losing my mind, these were the things that I was doing in preparation to position myself for a better future, right? And about a year from now, I'm looking to pull the trigger on my first real estate deal, right? But it wouldn't have been possible, guys, by continuing my same habits. If I would have kept that car, kept the motorcycle, things like that, I probably never would have been in this position, guys, because I would have been thinking about, keeping a certain image or just keeping the things that I enjoy. You know what I mean? So sometimes, guys, you got to get rid of the things that hold you down and hold you back. All right. And which leads me to, I want to hear from you guys. Like, what would you like to see change in our school systems, right? Of course, I mentioned a few things that I would love to implement in the school system. I would love to see, someone disrupt the school system with a financial program or some type of platform that allow kids to express themselves, right? And what I mean by this, I'm talking about disrupting the school system where literally a diploma doesn't matter anymore. You got to think about, like, for the people that's out of high school, when was the last time you literally used your diploma? Like, other than clicking a checkbox on a resume saying that, okay, I got my high school diploma. Other than that, they don't even ask you proof of it. You know what I mean? So it's like the most expensive toilet paper known to man is the diploma, right? I want to see, for us myself, I would like to see where we have a platform or some type of educational system where it teaches kids how to become more self-confident. It teaches kids how to, become more confident in sales, marketing, right? Whether it's YouTube, videos, right? I want to see more of a change where kids are able to do the things they really want to do. And like I said, I want to hear from you guys and let me know. Like I said, this is one of those episodes that, yes, it's going to get a lot of scrutiny. It's going to get a lot of negative feedback. However, but it's also going to impact and shift a lot of people's minds positively. Like, you got to understand, guys, that when it comes to what always was, it's hard for us to break that cycle, man. So like I said, I just want you guys to really think about, like, why the educational system doesn't allow our kids to learn about money. Yet once you come out of school, and in some cases in school, because the parents have to pay so much money while the kids are in school. But I want you guys to really just think about, like, why they don't teach money, and what are we doing in our own households to make sure that our kids and even ourselves are prepared for the future. All right, so I will see you guys on the next episode. You guys be sure to subscribe, man. Be sure to leave a comment, and be sure to share this episode out, guys. This is something that really needs to get a ton of shares. I'm looking for this one to be one of my most shared episodes. All right, but I'm curious to hear from you guys. I will see you guys later. It's your boy J Cobb. Be humble, be consistent, be you.